Okay, so here we are then down at the allotment. You can probably hear that it's yet another rainy afternoon, and it's getting a bit annoying now. However, the first part of this video is I feel I have to say something in relation to Arkansas woodcutter, aka Mark Smith. I saw the little video about a fellow competitor's facial hair, of which no consequence to me. However, when you call out a British citizen's tomatoes, or as you Americans say, tomatoes, then I feel it's time to step up and say something. So, with my 26 tomatoes that I have growing, I'm putting this challenge out to Arkansas woodcutter of the total amount in weight of tomatoes that you grow in one season and that I grow in one season, and we'll see who comes out on top. But being typically British, if you defeat me, I will be defeated with a certain amount of "that's okay, that's not a problem." So we'll go from there. So the second part of this video is about me sowing some runner beans. Yes, exciting stuff. So, sowing runner beans. So, here's me compost. I'm sure you've all seen this before. Make sure there's no lumps. That's quite a hard lump there, but runner beans, they're not too fussy about soil. So, and what I do because I'm only going to be putting out 10, this is the second sowing. So when you buy flowers from like a supermarket or garden centre, they come in these trays. As you can see, it says on there Tagettes, marigolds, whatever. But anyway, this is perfectly reusable. So look, that in there, a bit more in that one, a bit more in there, a bit of slight tap so as it goes down, fill them back up in a minute, and along. With the runner bean seeds, broad bean seeds, you don't really need to sift the compost or get the lumps out. They'll be quite happy. They're not fussy. But runner beans, broad beans, peas, they all add nitrogen to the soil. So when you come to you're doing your last harvest of your broad beans or your runner beans, don't compost them or chuck them in the bin or whatever. Chop them down, dig out the root, dispose of the root, yes, but put the actual plant, the dead plant, or in a shallow trench, and they'll put back all that nitrogen back into the soil. That's today's top tip, but anyway, runner beans, white emergo. So using up the last of these, or maybe not. Now, so with these I can just push them in, cover them over a little bit. There's going to be water in these, which again will make the compost drop down a bit more anyway. And then put some more compost on the top. Probably, second thoughts, I may not water these today, because this compost has been sat outside in a bag and it's got quite damp. So all I'm going to do now is just press down, not too much, I want to squish them, get a bit more compost, top up along there, level that off, same again with the other side, and there you go, that's them done. So put them over there in the little tray, ready for watering later on. Yeah, so might do some more of them later on. However, I've got other things that I need to sow, which I wish I had sown earlier. But as you all probably know, we're all in a rush at the beginning of the season, but then we slow down and forget to do stuff later in the season. So again, using another one of these. Yeah. No point in just chucking stuff away, putting it into landfill just because you can. I like to reuse things where I can, and that's the whole point really of a British allotment, I suppose. That was the original intention all those years ago, that you grew your own veg and for your family, and you didn't spend a fortune on it. So, and I'm pretty much doing that myself, not spending a lot. There's rumours of a new shed, but can't say too much about that at the moment. Right, so nice little bit of compost there. So now we're going to be going for the seeds that I've just got. And anybody in the UK, when you buy these seeds, I'm not necessarily on about the variety but the packaging. Now if you go ripping it off at the top, you're getting rid of a lot of your information. Open it at the bottom, and then you've still got all the info that you need, not been ripped, not been torn. So these are Savoy cabbage, which I do love cabbage in any shape or form. So and what I'm aiming to do here is 2 per cell. Doesn't mean that I will grow the 2, but obviously germination rate can differ. So 2 already in there, there's 2 in there. Two in there, 2 in there, doesn't really matter whether you get 2 or 3 or even just 1 really. If you've got enough for what you need when they germinate, that's the important thing. Okay, so that's the Savoy cabbage done. So now I am being a bit more fussy with the compost, trying to get the finer stuff in on the top. Going to give it a little bit of a press down so the seeds are in contact with the compost. That's that. So that's them. So then, next important step, which I didn't do with the broad bean, yes, runner bean, sorry. So Savoy cabbage. Savoy cabbage, whatever the date is today, I don't know, but that's that one. Use this little piece then for put that in the runner bean one, so that's that. And then I can go over onto the long gravel tray, which I'm sure you've all seen before. It's green and long. Alright, so that's the Savoy cabbage done. So we'll put that over there. Next one is lettuce. So yes, it says outdoor sowing, which is perfectly fine for an outdoor, a rear garden where you can go out and everything's nice. But sometimes when you've got an allotment, you sow them outside, they come on lovely, and then either the pigeons will get them if you don't net them, or the slugs and snails. So I much prefer to bring them on in trays or modules. Even if you keep them outside, you can cover these really easily, and nothing will get to them, hopefully. So what I'm going to be doing here, because the last month in the UK that you can sow this particular lettuce anyway is July. So I'm going to be sowing some now and then some maybe in 3 or 4 weeks, just so as I don't get a lot of lettuce all at once. Okay, so lettuce seeds. They just, always so that's why they say sow outside in thinly, because they are so small. But you can do them indoors in modules. You don't have to necessarily do them outside. I, for one, would much rather grow them in a module or a seed tray. Alright, so that's the lettuce done. And then we have another. So again, compost on the top. It's a little bit lumpy, but yeah. Slight press down, again not too much. I want to squish them. So that's the lettuce done, which is iceberg. So that's the iceberg lettuce done. So then I can snap that off. Iceberg in that side. And now, because I've got some cauliflower to go in, it's new type of cauliflower I'm growing. I've never grown them before. They look absolutely amazing, and I hope they taste amazing. A little bit on the dry side now. I've got to the bottom of the tray. That bit of a tap down, get that out of there. There. Bit of that in there, that's it. So, this is the ones I'm on about. Look at them for cauliflower. Yeah. Almost like some Asian temple. And I'm not being rude when I say that, that's what it reminds me of. So, that's the packet of them open. So that's it. Look pretty much like any other cauliflower seed. Again, 2 per module. If I've got too many, then I've got too many. But I very much doubt if they will all germinate. But again, you can never be sure. So that's them done. Virtually. Need a bit more of the old compost here. That should do that. A little bit more in there. This is not the best quality compost ever. In fact, if I was to give it a score 1 to 10, 10 being excellent, 1 being rubbish, I would say 2. Still, you have to get what you can get at the time, and that's okay. So that's them done. So collie, that's it. That's that. He goes back up there. So there we are. So you can't quite see me there. That's probably not a bad thing. Okay, so in the time that it takes to brew a cup of tea, you can sow 4 different varieties of veg, yeah. Not strictly true, but that was the quick version. So cheers, good luck in Shed Wars.